So basically, we know what we need to do in order to graph this parabola. We need to know the x-intercepts. That's where it crosses this x-axis. We need to know the maximum height, called the maximum. And then really the only other part is we need to know that axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry, remember, is the distance between the two x-intercepts divided into, it's halfway between the midpoint. All right, so I'll tell you right off the bat that one of the x-intercepts is going to be negative 10, 0. We can see right here as I pull this back that the ball is going to cross the x-axis right at x is equal to negative 10, where y is 0 because it's right down at the very base where we're on the x-axis. So it's at negative 10, 0. What you're going to have to watch for is where it crosses the x-axis over here and where the maximum is at the very top. Once we know the two x-intercepts, we divide by 2 to find the center point, which is the average between them, and that's our axis of symmetry. So we're looking for these four things. What are the x-intercepts? What's the maximum? What's the axis of symmetry? Oh, wow. And from there, that's going to give us the vertex. The vertex is just at the very top. At the very top here, that's the vertex. This one actually is kind of a line where the vertex is on the y-axis. That's not always going to happen. Don't count on that. So let's see. I need Omar over here with this basket. So you're going to collect them, but don't try to catch them because they have to see where it crosses the x-axis. All right. And then Lawrence, you're going to pull it back so it's even with the hook. Holding like that. Just like that. Okay. So we're going to try different types. Let's start with all the ping pong. So just before we start, in your group, decide who's going to look for what. We're looking for the x-intercepts, where it crosses this x-axis. We're looking for, oh, I see. Sounds off. Gotcha. Hey, welcome back. All right, there we go. There we go. Now we have our x-axis. So if you're looking for the x-axis, you know where the first one is. You got to find where the second one's going to cross this. Not where it bounces on the ground, but where it crosses the line. You look for the maximum, you see the maximum height. And then from there, we're going to be able to find the axis of symmetry from the x-intercepts and the maximum. So we'll go ahead and count down. And then we will pay attention. We'll try to guess what these figures were. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right. So where did we? Oh, we're gonna shoot a few more if you guys want to still shoot. Still want to shoot. All right. Where was the maximum? How high did it get?
0.6.
Okay, so we say 6.5.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know that here's let's see if it's right underneath. Okay, so here was basically approximately where my maximum was. My max was at 6.5. All right. Now, what was my second x-intercept? I know my first one's over there. It's 10, 0. I'll move it over so it's right there. Perfect. All right, so 10, 0, negative 10, 0. Where was it on the right side? What did you see? It's going to be slightly different from perspective, but I hear 5. 5-ish?
Yeah, around it.
Okay, let's go with 5. So don't write on the wall. So we're down here at 5, and this is 5, 0. 0 for y. It's not up or down. It's just on the x-axis. Okay. Do you see now? We know where the two endpoints are, the two x-intercepts. How could we find the axis of symmetry? Just approximating it. The axis isn't going to be right here. That wouldn't be symmetric. Where do you think it's going to be? Somewhere in the middle, right? So I know that this distance over here on the right is 5. So right here to the point over here is 5 from our x-intercept. From the origin all the way this direction, it's -10. So how far is it between the two x-intercepts all together? So we're just talking about distance, like the absolute value. So it's really just talking about distance. From 0 to -10 is still 10 units. 10. 0 to 5 is 5 units. Altogether it's, all right, 15. 10 plus 5. Good? I don't know, there's some silence in there. So we're seeing how far it is between the two x-intercepts. This is at 5, 0, so it's 5 to the origin. That's helpful. 0 to -10 is 10, so altogether is 15. What's 15 divided by 2?
7.5.
7.5. So I'm going to go in from any of the points in towards the middle, 7.5. We got here, that gets us to 5, and then I go all the way. 1, 2, and right here. We end up with our vertex. And that's a max. Yeah. It's a maximum. The vertex is always on the maximum. The vertex is always on the axis of symmetry. You see how that fits together because the axis breaks it exactly in half, like a mirror. So my vertex, I just figured out, is at -2.5 and 6.5. Okay. And we figured this out already. We had 5, 0. We had 6.5. We had the axis of symmetry was at -2.5. And then our vertex, we got -2.5. So you can see that once you have these two, you can figure out the rest from that. The maximum height, 2 points, find the middle, where the maximum and the middle line axis of symmetry meet. That's our vertex. All right, so here's how it's going to go. We're going to shoot 6 different projectiles. You only have to do the work for 3 of them. So within your group, you're going to figure out who's going to look for what. The 3 that you have the best information for, that you all agree, those are going to be the ones that you work all 4 points up and you graph it. Okay? So some people in the last class were using a camera to do slow motion. If you want to try that, maybe one person from each group can stand over there behind the projector. Free to do that if you want. So we're going to go ahead and shoot off 6. Let me get rid of some of this. So you guys know who's going to look for what? Maybe decide that real quick.
Look for the Y. You're looking for Y.
All right, so
Yeah, you're looking for X. Y.
all right, everybody watching? If you're filming, maybe you get a better perspective if you need. All right, we are going to launch in 3, 2, 1.
7, 6.
All right, jot those down real quick. Where did it cross the x-axis on the right side? How high did it get? From that, we can figure everything else out. Do like the orange ones actually? The orange ones?
7.75 approximately. Yeah.
All right, ready? 3,
I mean, you could say 8 if you
2,
want to find out.
1.
Okay, that was a 10.
All right, if it went higher than 10, go ahead and guess where that went. You can estimate. All right. All right. Next one, you can review the videos after too. All right, next one. 3, 2, 1.
That's about 7.
All right, go and switch on this one.
It's like 7.
All right, so for the ping pongs, we're pretty much just making it so it's parallel. And the other one is a little.
No, 7. I'm not just guessing my numbers somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
That was definitely 7.
Okay, from your perspective, it'll be slightly different with the shadow, but just go with what you guys
From my perspective,
come up with.
Okay, I'll say 6 because I like that number.
All right, 3, 2,
And height was 10.5.
1.
I could not see the height on that. I think it was around 6 for height.
All right, last one. Remember, you only have to do 3 of the problems. So if you didn't see all of them perfect, you probably saw 3 of them perfect. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, that was 10.
All right, thank you. Very good.
I thought that was like perfect too.
You guys are getting different numbers from each other. I'm just saying.
The first 3.
All right.
Okay, first 3 we got. But the first one I said 7.75.
That actually looked like.
All right.
That one?
Yeah, I have.
I don't know what that one is.
Let's actually
I think I
do the
got
first
6.
one. Let's do the first one together. I don't mind if you put this as your classwork for this one. All right, somebody read to me where was the x-intercept for the other side? For the right side, we had the x-intercept as what? 7, 0, because the y coordinate is
6 for that.
right at the very base of
Next one I got
0.
10.
The maximum? What do we get for the maximum? Anybody see it? 7.
Okay.
All right, so this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put -10 there. I'm going to put 7, just make it approximate. How do I know where the axis of symmetry is? It's right in the middle between these 2 points. So I know right off the bat that this is 17 away from each other. These 2 points are 17 units away from each other. Everybody see how I got that? Because this is from 0. Remember the 0 here. -10 is 10. And over here it's 7. So those 2 had to give us 17. Divide that in 2 now. Divide that in 2?
8.5.
8.5. So we take 17, we divide it in 2, and we get 8.5. That tells me I need to go in from my point 8.5 units. From either side. It doesn't matter because it's in the middle. So I'm going to go this direction. I get to -2. I go another half. And I'm here at -1.5. There's -1, there's -2. Because I go from -10 inwards, 8, that gets me to 2, another half, 1.5. You could also think of taking the average of these 2 points. But for now, we'll do the averages tomorrow. Now I just want to see it's in the middle. So what I figured out is that here is my axis of symmetry. So from this point and the maximum, now we can go in and say that, okay, well here's 7. Here was my max. If that was my maximum, and I know my line of symmetry now, is that x is equal to -1.5. How would I find the vertex? We know it's at the very top. We know it's at the very middle. Where's my vertex going to be for this?
-1.57.
It's going to be where the axis of symmetry and the maximum meet. And that's at -1.5. You see how I was able to now go in here, and I can
Bless you.
I can go in here and now draw my parabola, and that's how the ball flew through the air. Okay. So from these 2 points, we were able to find the axis of symmetry because it's right in the middle. I know my vertex is just the maximum and the axis of symmetry where those are meeting. It's where it is at its total height. It's where it is right in between the 2 x-intercepts. Okay. What's the hardest part about this one? What do you think? Hardest part, Isaac?
I think it's actually seeing the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when we were trying to just observe it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's hard to react.
if you didn't get the exact measurements, you're still going to be able to draw something based on those measurements. So go ahead and go with that if that's a problem. Good input. Anyone else? What's the hardest part? Finding the middle point? find the distance divided in 2. Okay, we're going to try, yep, well now you can go ahead and get 2 more done. Okay, we got 13 minutes. So getting at least 2 more done. If you want to try more, I'd suggest that. This is classwork, so you are free to work